Folks, welcome. Thank you all for being here. Of course, thanks to our panelists. Um, Welcome to Gear Up's How to High School, a panel discussion and Q&A with the Hartford Yard Goats Young Ambassador Program. My name is Benjamin Bro, and I serve as the program coordinator for Gear Up East Hartford, and I'm honored to be serving as a moderator. We take it from the pros who know. These peer mentors will offer reflections and insights into the transition to life in high school. We're on a WebEx meeting. I'm recording it. I want to be able to share this with as many people as possible. I think this is going to be a fantastic event, and the folks here have so much to share. So I wanted to sort of capture that. I do hope to incorporate a significant Q&A element too. I want your sort of questions to be sort of front and center, and I have a number of questions that I'd like to ask and hope to sort of tease out some of these insights and offer space for reflection. But the Q&A is certainly a big piece of it. Use the chat. I'm going to do my best to monitor that. Maybe able to kind of fire some things off while we're running through it, but certainly leaving space at the end to address questions and to have that engagement piece. Until then, I encourage everybody to keep your microphones muted so that the speakers can be heard. Let's see. So before I want the panelists to introduce themselves, but I want to just frame this a little bit about what Gear Up is about. Gear Up, gaining early awareness and readiness for undergraduate programs, is a high-impact, comprehensive college and career readiness program that supports students and their families, starting in middle school, moving them through into high school and through the first years of post-secondary success. Gear Up is a federal grant program that helps empower local partnerships comprised of K-12 schools, institutions of higher education, state agencies, and community organizations to achieve three strategic goals: increasing post-secondary expectations and readiness of students, improving high school graduation and post-secondary enrollment rates, raising the knowledge of post-secondary options, preparation, and financing among students and families. Gear Up is one of the largest and most effective programs focused on increasing the college and career readiness of students and communities nationwide. More than 3,500 programs, almost 600,000 students nationwide. Even as every Gear Up program is actually really unique and sort of creative in the way that it responds, to the needs of local folks. There's so many pieces to this thing called college and career readiness. Gear Up promotes academic rigor and engagement and supports social emotional learning through tutoring and other support services. The program facilitates STEM explorations, plans after school and summer enrichment opportunities. Long-term, it'll do college and financial aid counseling, and it's provided to students. Dual enrollment programs offer early college credit, test prep, and college admission support as part of the program. Throughout, career exploration and education planning are central, and there are scholarships at the end. But of course, at the center of all this are the relationships, the connections that we make with our partners, with our mentors, with folks like the panelists here, the stories we share, the support we give each other. That's where this event comes from, and the peer mentoring initiative, the Hartford Yard Goats and their young ambassadors are sort of offering with us as we go forward. So it's just an amazing thing, and I'm so delighted to be able to welcome you folks today. So without further ado, I want to welcome the impressive young ambassadors of the Hartford Yard Goats and their foundation. We should go around the horn. Please introduce yourselves, and perhaps the person who goes last or someone willing to chime in. Give us a couple of sentences about what the Young Ambassador Program is about too. And kind of let us know why you're here. And Amari, would you go first? I'm just sort of looking at my screen. I've got tiles, and that way it'll keep us moving. Welcome, Amari.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Amari Valentine, and I'm here as part of the HiCap Young Ambassadors Alumni Program. Our program seems to help and give the experience to young leaders in our community in Hartford. Besides that, we are here to give support and provide resources to all that are willing and want to make a change in the community. And I think you'll find that what we're trying to offer and share to all of you is just wisdom and firsthand knowledge, and it's a pleasure to be here with all of you.
Thank you, Mari. What grade are you in? Where are you in this journey?
Right now, I'm currently a senior at the University of Connecticut. That's where I am right now. So, cross. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's
thank you.
awesome. Janelle, do you want to go next?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Danielle. I am a junior at the University of Connecticut, pursuing a Bachelor's of Science in Accounting and a minor in Real Estate. I was a part of the IGAP program in my senior year of high school, and it have helped me tremendously with just like looking forward to going to college and the different stuff we have learned, such as like financial literacy, networking, and all of these stuff that was like very useful during my first year as a freshman. And I guess now in the alumni program, using what I've learned, using how the program have helped me during my senior year of high school, being back now is just like a way of giving back to the community, a way of just like helping others the way the program have helped me, and be I guess it's like a good opportunity and very much a pleasure to be here to do the same.
Thank you, Janelle. Regina, please.
Hey everybody, my name is Regina Malendo and I'm a senior at Hartford Public High School. I did high gap in 2019. I was a student, class of 2020 of high gap, and then I had a good experience there. They teach me how to speak in front of people, like public speaking, and I'm very happy to be here to help all of you go through it. Maybe throughout your senior year or junior year of high school, you can also join the group.
That's awesome. Naira, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Myra Vasquez. Just like Amari, I'm like a kind of like program leader within the High Gap alumni program. Um, Seeing what we've done so far, I really like the program. It's benefiting these young minds really, and giving these young adults a kind of, insightful lessons as to how to grow up in the real world, because it's really hard once you grow up and you begin adulting, really. Right now, I am a freshman at the University of Connecticut. I'm undeclared right now, so yeah.
Thank you so much. Tristan, please.
Hello, my name is Tristan Williams. I'm a senior at Great Path Academy, and I graduated from the High Gap program in 2018, I believe. And back then it was more career focused. Like they taught us how to get ready for a job, how to dress, how to speak, and they even helped me get my first summer job as a freshman. Um, with the Boys and Girls Club. So I always have love for High Gap and the Argos. And now we're mostly focusing kind of on school, I believe, and community service. And this is just an amazing program with amazing young leaders.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to make sure we haven't missed anybody. I got it. Yeah, unfortunately, Daz is a member of your group. We're having some technical difficulties, so I'll apologize.
Alika Smith is also on the call. Alika, you want to put on your video and introduce yourself, please?
Tiffany, thank you. Alika, welcome.
I'm so sorry. I just came home from my program, so that's why my camera was off. I'm fixing stuff together. Hi, my name's Alika Smith. I'm a senior at the Hartford Public High School, and I joined the High Gap in 2019, the same as Regina. Basically, the High Gap helped me understand more about financial literacy, how to be professional in the workplace, how to dress in the workplace, and that really opened my eye because I wasn't really experienced and stuff like that. So I'm actually grateful that I learned those stuff before I started working.
That's awesome. Thank you for being here, Alika. Thank you all of you for being here. So I've got some questions, and I think they'll keep us, sort of moving. In some ways, there's more than two or three of you, so I'd want you to sort of chime in, to sort of set the scene. That's sort of my first question. As students consider the experience of transitioning into high school, I want you to kind of set the scene for us. Sort of what's it like, set the stage, kind of bring us back to that moment, and as you remember it. So volunteer to to go first to sort of set the stage.
Hey y'all, can y'all hear me and see me now?
We can, Des. Thank you so much for being here. Please
Sorry
quickly
for being
introduce yourself.
late, y'all.
I thank you for getting through the WebEx jungle to get
Yeah.
here.
All right, so before we got introductions.
Yeah, we just finished introduction, so you're right on time. So
All right.
please
Thanks.
introduce yourself.
Thank you. Hey y'all, so my name is Dasmarie Maldonado. I'm a freshman at HBCU down south in Columbia, South Carolina, called Benedict College. And what was the question again of how my experience was with High Gap?
Yeah, what brings you here? Sort of why you doing this?
I'm here because number one, I have a passion to help the youth, and I had a rough time in high school. I found a lot of difficulties balancing out my personal life and my academics. So I'm here to just talk about my experience, give you guys some tips and advice. Hopefully, you guys find it helpful. The transition to middle school and high school isn't easy, but it's something that everybody could definitely manage as long as you guys get the right resources and help. So I'm here to do that.
Well, Daz, while you're unmuted, and then Tristan, Regina, maybe I'll ask you to chime in after this. So to set the stage for us, paint the scene. What's it like freshman year to be walking in on that first day? What's that? Tell us about that. Tell us about that experience.
My freshman year was really challenging for me because I didn't speak English. So I had a really rough time communicating with students and teachers. So I had to always go to the library, sit by myself to read some books and encourage myself that I can do it. And I also believe you all can do it. If I did it, you can do it.
Thank you, Regina. Tristan, what was that first day like for you?
My first day, it was different because I went to a whole new high school that wasn't from my middle school. So I didn't know that many people. But honestly, in freshman year, everybody doesn't know like each other. So it's not like you're gonna like not find a friend or anything. So somebody's gonna want to talk to you, or you're gonna find some people to hang out with. So like being social wise, you're good. Um, Freshman year, it kind of was like scary, I guess, because you would see like the seniors in the school and you'd be like, wow, like they're so big, but time flies by so fast. It goes by so fast. I feel like I was a freshman like yesterday, honestly. But yes, freshman year, my first day, it was pretty cool. It was interesting to me. It was a new scene. I loved it. I really wanted to be at high school my freshman year.
All right. First day of freshman year. Wow, so long ago. Honestly, walking in, it could be a bit intimidating because you see everybody else, like the sophomores, the juniors, and the seniors, they already got the rundown and they're already approaching their first day classes and everything. Honestly, friends is definitely a thing that I was a little nervous about, but I feel like if you were to walk into your first day of school, of first day of high school, excuse me, with an optimistic mindset, you'll definitely be able to find other people that are around you. Your energy definitely attracts a lot of people. So don't be worried about that. That shouldn't be anything you're worried about. I think I was honestly thinking about like the difference between work if anything, my first day. I know that's always a worry for a lot of people that are transitioning into high school, but it's nothing that you guys can't manage. And yeah, I was just excited, honestly, to be honest.
A mix of emotions. Janelle, what was that like for you?
So for me, I had like a whole different experience. I came to America actually my freshman year. It was the second semester in January, and the only knowledge I have about high school was based on what I saw on TV. So when I first came here and I heard I had to like go to a high school, I thought it was gonna be an episode of Everybody Express. I was about to be the only black person in the classroom, or it was going to be something that I see on TV where it was like the jocks one side, the cheerleaders one side. So that was the only image I had. But when I started, it was like, oh wow, it's me amongst like it was like it's like I fit in. Based on the complexion of my skin, I fit right in. The only thing that was different was when I speak, and everyone could tell that I have an accent that wasn't really from America. And for that experience, it was it was like a cultural shock for me, culturally and also socially. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what it was going to be like, and it was like me coming to a whole new country, into a whole new setting. It was like I had to like adapt quickly to the environment, and that was like the nervous part about it. Like, how am I going to fit in, or am I going to be able to um navigate this whole new environment? And the more you go into it, the more you learn, is the more it become easily it becomes durable. And it was like one of those experiences that stick with me, because I was able to even use it within my college essays to talk about the change and how I adapt. And even in interviews, when they ask about like how did you think about the time that you have to adapt to a situation, and that's like one experience that like stick with me. But that for like within the high school, it was completely different from the high school I experienced back home. And it it kind of like it kind of strengthened a lot of things that you didn't know that you had. It kind of gave you the strength that you didn't know you had before. And I think like Khalif, I don't know how the middle school was here. So it's like for that transition, it was like, is it going to be the same? Is it going to be different? Since majority of the students already went to middle school, they know how the education system works. It probably be easier for them to grow within high school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jill, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
How do you like pick classes, transitioning to high school that fits like your personal life and also like helps you balance? Because I'm having a hard time picking it, and I haven't really picked my classes because like they want me to do like I want to do honors because it's much easier for me that way, but also I realize that honors will be kind of hard when I like gradually get into high school. So how do you like manage?
Thank you, Priscilla. Let me frame it for I mean, there's an extent to which you won't know the ins and outs, of course, for, necessarily East Hartford high school, but you definitely had to pick classes and had to kind of think about, there's so many different options in high school, certainly. So please describe some of your thought process on how to find that balance. What classes to choose? What were you thinking about? Please. Thank you, Priscilla.
I can go. I remember when I entered the guidance counselor and she was putting me to classes, the question that she asked me was, do you want to go in honors? And I had this fear because back home, honors for me was something that was like, I am okay with regular, because the courses itself was so rigorous. It was much more challenging. So for honors, I was like, is it going to be hard? How is it going to be? But then I entered my honors course, and back home, my English score was like C's. I was getting C's and D's, and then I came here and I started getting A plus. And it was like that change that was like, wait a minute, I'm actually smart in English. So I feel like when it comes to it, challenging yourself is like definitely something I would encourage. Don't be afraid of like the courses, because being in honors within high school can definitely help you in college. Having that much rigor in your from your freshman year can actually strengthen your studying skills. It develops some parts of your brains. I don't know the whole brain structure, but it develops some parts of your brains that makes you a much more candidate when you enter college. So I feel like doing it, not don't limit yourself. Go beyond your potential. Go strive for this, reach for the stars, reach beyond it, and definitely do take those honors courses. I highly encourage it. Don't be afraid.
And if you don't mind if I add on, hey Priscilla,
Yes, please.
just some advice and some tips for managing the work. If you are going to take on honor classes, congratulations to you, because that's definitely a challenge, and I agree with her. Don't be afraid to take challenges head on. You know, that's all you're going to experience in high school and in life in general. So your high school experience, I feel like, is your first experience dealing with multiple things at one time. So I was going to say, if you do decide to take that route, if you can invest in a planner, something little simple, even having a little schedule for yourself can definitely help channel your thoughts. Where, you know, if you go home and, you know, you're, you know, get involved with something with your family and stuff like that, you could look back at your planner or have it in the back of your mind that, oh, I forgot, I gotta go do this homework, or this assignment is due to here, you know. Building a schedule for yourself would definitely just help you in general with classes and picking classes. And do stuff based off your interests. You have 4 years in high school, so you have enough time to definitely take a lot of courses, and new courses will definitely come about that you could, you know, invest in and do.
Regina, Tristan, do you know, you're at the end of it looking back. Would you have made some different choices when you were trying to kind of map it all out?
Oh, like me, my high school years, I didn't get to choose my own courses that I like. They just give me a schedule. That's all. I didn't choose. I didn't get a chance to pick up what I want and what I want to learn. So it's kind of different for me.
For me, I actually don't mind the choice that I made. My freshman year, I wanted to just get everything that needed to be done out the way. So in the long run, I didn't have that many classes. Like my counselor, she kind of broke it down for me. Like right now, I'm only have 2 classes my senior year, but I also have some college classes. So I mean, it kind of equals up to it. But I took everything that was like required that I need to get done, like my freshman and my sophomore year. And then I had a little bit more fun my junior year with like adding cooking classes or like arts and stuff like that. But honestly, honors class, I wish I took more honors class my freshman year, because I honestly only got into honors my junior year, but I wish I took them my freshman year, because honestly, if you get a C in an honors class, it's way better than getting a C in a regular class. Like if you get a B in an honors class, it's like getting like kind of near an A in a regular class. So the grading system is like much more different. So I honestly take those honors class. It looks so good on your transcript when you're applying to college. It just sees all those honors class. Just take as many honors class as you can. And yeah, just that's all I can say.
How do you like balance like volunteering and also like other like interests? For example, like I want to start playing basketball my freshman year, but I know that I have to do like volunteer work in order for me to graduate high school. So how do I balance it out?
Um, if y'all, oh, Tristan, you want to go? Because I noticed you on mute. You sure? Okay. Um, Whew, you asking all the right questions, and I'm happy that you're doing it ahead of time, because I didn't think at all about volunteer work my freshman year. And I guess that varies on the high school that you attend to, because that was also in the back of my head freshman year, but my high school told me to worry about that towards junior and senior year, because as Tristan said, usually typically with other high schools, you usually take what you need and what's mandatory for you to just get your basic credits before you do other stuff. But on the note of basketball, you could definitely find time to balance. Like, you know, if you have an easy assignment that you know you could bang out, I would say do it at lunch. Or, you know, if you're not doing anything in class and you finished up your work, do the assignments that you know that you got to catch up on. It's kind of more of time management skills that you got to develop when it comes to being a student athlete. And because you are a student athlete, that's going to be expected of you. So you'll definitely find time to do that. And even with the volunteer hours, besides basketball, when it's not basketball season, you could join Boys and Girls Club. That's definitely something volunteer where you could get, some experience in.
Tristan, were you going to chime in?
Yeah, and definitely over the summer, you could definitely find a lot of time for community service. And I don't know if your school has like, you have to do a certain amount of community service each year, and then like it adds the total up for the end of the year. I don't know if that's what East Hartford does, but that's what my school does. So it's like 16 hours each year. So we had time to like break it down like throughout our whole school year. So we just found like little time we needed to do some community service, help out at a church, like literally anything you could think of probably relates back to community service. Like if you go to church, help out in the church, do some community service in the church. If Boys and Girls Club, find something community. If you go to Boys and Girls Club, do something with them. Literally anything you could think of could be part of community service. Just find the time you need and you'll get it done.
A couple of things I don't want to dominate here, but I've worked in the world of admissions and sort of at the college level, and I hear it over and over again. Folks who are looking at your application for admission, they want to see you sort of invested in fewer things, but with more depth. And I point that out in part because if you get involved in a particular organization that you really like, and it'll become a more organic, comfortable, familiar thing. And you won't feel so scattered. It'll become part of your routine to be engaged in that organization. And that'll fit in really nicely and organically with the other responsibilities that you have, whether it's sports, whether it's your homework or your social life. And so, taking those opportunities, but developing, a relationship will ultimately make it a little bit easier to manage because it'll be a more organic part of your experience. Janelle, you were going to chime in. It looked like I didn't want to interrupt you.
I could just add a little bit about that. Honestly, in high school, I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I was able to take honors courses, AP courses, ECE courses, still do sports, plus being in organization and doing like all of those activities even in one day and still be able to stay on top of things. So I think like once you find a passion, something that you're very much something that you enjoy. So if you enjoy basketball, that could be your time for relieving stress. That could be a time where you are so everything, all the academically everything is so much that you say, okay, I enjoy playing basketball. This is my moment where everything just becomes on the back burner. I'm just gonna play, and I am. I'm just gonna pray and release all that stress, and then when I get home, I'll focus on assignments. And definitely having a planner that, as Dad said, writing down everything, see all the assignments. That is also a skill that you could carry through college. You're gonna need it in college. And like looking back, in my 24 hours in high school is completely different from the 24 hours I have now in college. I don't know what changed. I don't know what happened, but it's like a complete different feel. When back then I was able to manage everything and still do it. Now I don't have that much time to even be involved. So I think once again, if you find something that you enjoy doing, definitely. And when it comes to picking classes, I will also I know if you plan on going to college and plan to do so in Connecticut, I'll also try to take courses that will be very helpful towards your major. Like if even if you're like undecided now, but there's like this one thing that you think you want to do, such as like nursing or something like that, try and take courses that is much more pushed within that field, because it will be very helpful later on. I know that if even for a language course, and then if you take 3 years of language in high school, you don't have to take it in college. And taking a language in college, child, that's a lot. So if that is like one of the advice I would give, as well as like I know that a lot of my friends, they wanted to do in the nursing program, but Hartford Public School didn't offer physics. So that kind of stopped them from being accepted within the college, not within the college, but like at the higher level in college than they would have if they had taken physics. So I think starting now thinking about stuff like that will also be very helpful in the long run.
How did you get better at like things you were struggling with? Because I know for me, like I really struggle with math and I'm really at like kind of a low range and I want to get better, but it's like I know that in order for me to like graduate high school, I have to complete like a certain type of class in order to move on and I don't want to stay back. So, how?
Let Khan Academy be your best friend. That is so much helpful. So helpful. Let it be your best friend.
I was just about to say Khan Academy, utilize them resources. And definitely, girl, don't be afraid to go and ask your math teacher, hey, are you free? And usually your teacher is always willing to definitely let you know a time where they're free, even if you go up to their room during lunch. Your teacher should be willing to help you. And if that's not an option, then make friends. Don't be afraid to pay attention to who's better at what subjects or who participates more, and then try to approach them and be like, hey, are you good at math? Do you enjoy math? And if that person says yes, just be like, hey, do you mind helping me with math or explaining this concept to me or this specific material? High school is all about like kind of networking. It's just like your first experience of networking, because as Janelle was saying, and comparing it to college, you're going to do a lot of that. You're going to have to find your own study groups and people who you can tutor with and work with. So for you to just get out of that comfort zone and be used to that in high school would definitely help you in college and, for any struggles that you do have.
In a lot of cases, there's sort of multiple things you can do, and in different contexts, different things will work. And math is a great example where sometimes with the Khan Academy, getting it from a different direction, from a different instructor, is sometimes like, the light bulb goes off because it's just a little bit different. You understand it just a little bit differently. So with everything, there's often a lot of resources. It's important to ask. Asking folks like this, your peer mentors, asking your instructor, and they may have recommendations, because there's often multiple solutions to a problem. General tips for sort of, we've all had, like, not just math but a difficult class. How have you sort of encountered that issue and overcome that?
I could use an example. My freshman year, I was very insecure about writing. English was not my strong suit at all. I was really insecure about like my grammar. I thought I couldn't write as well. And I actually, I'm be honest with you, I kind of pushed off my work. I did the wrong thing. I'm gonna use my experience as an example. I did the wrong thing. I kind of shelled myself and didn't want to like face the fact that this is going to be something I have to overcome regardless if I have interest in college. And just to get through high school, you got to overcome things. So definitely what helped me was honestly, like, he was saying, getting help from other sources. I wasn't ready to ask my teacher or be embarrassed and stuff like that. Well, it's not embarrassing at all. School is school. You're there to learn, and that's the purpose of you being there. So it's okay if you don't understand something. You can always ask a question. But YouTube definitely helped me out. I would look up like specific concepts and chapters in English that I was struggling with the most. And I honestly found friends that were better at English and that was their strong suit. And I kind of hang around them and they broke things down to me. And you just have to kind of like I was saying, network your way in and find those resources and find those people that can help you. Or, how you were saying, how you wanted to get more into the community. If you were to go to Boys and Girls Club or whatever, community services is in your community, you can definitely find help and find people who are willing to break things down for you and take their time with you.
How do you kind of like communicate with like people your own age? Because it's like for me, I don't really like communicating with kids my own age. I feel like I'm more able to communicate with people which is older because they have more knowledge and I could learn from them. So it's like when I try to ask for help, like with people which are my age. It's like it's very hard to communicate with them because they don't have like kind of the knowledge I need in order to progress my intellectuality or to progress what I need to have in life. So how do you like fit with that?
Honestly, before me and you, like we are on the same level. Like I don't really get the comfortable to talk with people my age. Like in school, I always talk with teachers, sit with teachers, and my friend be like, I'm not a good friend. I don't talk with people. I always like to talk with adults. And then I feel like if I need something, I always go to an adult to ask for a question. I don't really be afraid of asking question. Before, I used to hate myself because I don't really communicate with other people around my age. I always stay with adults and stuff, but it's not a bad thing. It's just that that's where you feel like you fit in, and it's what just make you feel comfortable with yourself and other people around you. So it's not a bad thing, like not to talk with people around your age. It's good because I always do that too. I don't talk with people around my age. I feel like they have nothing to tell me. Like, it's not that I don't want to talk with them, but it's just they don't make me comfortable, feel comfortable. So it's not a bad thing. Don't be afraid. You always make friends, but it's kind of difficult to make friends sometimes. So you just have to be yourself. Don't try to change yourself. Just because you go in high school, you want to talk with people around your age or stuff like that. No, just stay the way you are. It's okay. You will get through it, but don't try to change it or feel like you are being on like how do I say unfriendly. It's nothing like that. It's just the way you are, and it's okay.
I don't want to overpromise, but things will be sort of remixed too in next year. You'll be the youngest. There'll be older students who've been through this, um, and you may discover that things expand a little bit for you too. But yeah, I mean, adults are there to be a resource, to be a mentor, and if you're,
Wanna-
if you find that's what you need right now, that's what you need right now. I think it's a good segue. I wanted to. Paris had asked a question several minutes ago, and it's related. Um, uh, she was looking for advice on dealing with stress, feeling overwhelmed, and part of this is our relationship with our peer groups, but certainly more generally, there's a lot of stress in high school, and I guess it sort of continues, and figuring out how to manage that and deal with that, and is really important, right?
Amara, you wanted to go before I chime in?
I just wanted to follow up Regina's remarks. I think that, that is exactly where the aspect of leadership comes through. She was explaining a great point that, the change is not needed if you lead by your example and talk to whoever you feel like. It's not a big deal. Other people will look up to you and see how you do it, and you'll naturally have people that want to share that energy. Also, like Desmarie said, but to also answer the question about stress and managing, I think that the best way to deal with it is to communicate. If you are not able to communicate or express yourself to other people, or even to, if it's not a friend or a teacher or a guidance counselor or, a parent, whoever it may be, I feel like, the hardest part is that you'll be stuck in the same situation and the stress will build. If you let somebody know your concerns, more often than not, uh, they'll try to help you and get you the right help. I mean, teachers are always a great resource and they're really busy. However, if you communicate it to all the people that are managing you or testing you or grading you, they'll be understanding because, teachers at the end of the day are people too. So, you know, and if you're a good person, if you are good-hearted and genuine about your work and the circumstances are true, you'll get what you need. You just got to communicate it out. So that's what I would say.
And I guess just to wrap up both of y'all questions at the same time, Paris and Priscilla. Priscilla, some tips since you asked specifically like what you can do to interact with your crowd and people around your age. I would say go based off of interest. Figure out what people like to do. What's their hobbies? If somebody likes basketball and they're a freshman just like you, then there you go. You can kind of wease your way into figuring out who that type of person are, allow them to figure out who you are as a person, and just let the friendship organically grow from there. That's usually how it starts. You don't ever have to put too much pressure onto it. Just be yourself and people will literally attract themselves to you because your energy is your energy. And then and that goes along with Paris. When you're feeling a little stressed or feeling a little overwhelmed, it's okay to find other people that you could confide in, or, you know, at least grow a bond with so that you can hang out with them, or you could feel a little bit better around those people, a little more comfortable. Or, you know, after you get home or when you're in a quiet space, wind down, try to ease your mind and just settle everything, or have a planner like how I told Priscilla. That's another way to manage things, or just write down things that keep popping up in your head that are causing your stress or making you overwhelmed.
How do you find people that's good in your circle? Because for me, like, I'm trying to grow more in my faith as a Christian, and I know that a lot of people, like in high school, they don't really believe in the same belief I believe in. And I feel like if I kind of go off in the wrong crowd, that will really mess with what my relationship with God. So how can you like also how can you be like a religious person and also make friends which can like fit in your group and also help you grow in a way that you won't fall off?
I would say, as everyone else have been saying, stay true to yourself. I kind of have that the same experience with that, and you, I feel like you also can make an impact. So don't try to hide the fact that you are a religious person. If it's not needed, I wouldn't like necessarily bring it up. But if it's like a conversation where you've like if you are I would if it's like a conversation where you feel like this needs something, like I always whenever I'm in my friend group and a lot of us don't have the same belief, I will always, and we're having a discussion based on certain things, I will always say, as a Christian, this is why I believe that. As a Christian, this is why I do that. And somehow that kind of like, I don't know if my friends have I have a problem with that, but the conversation never like stirred differently from that. We will always say, and then someone was like, as an atheist. So I feel like also being in a friend group where you feel comfortable, where you know that your opinions are valid, or if you where every I guess giving an open ear here is like also very imperative to your friend group. Be friends. Like if you're with friends with someone that doesn't make you feel comfortable, that you have to change who you are, that is not your friend, and that person has to go. So I like definitely be you. Just like be you, and as Des said, you at check, and whoever is around you is who you know that is true. Like my personality don't mix with just any and anybody, and I know that the friends who I have now are friends who are genuine around me because I've already been through the phase of where friends have like misled me, of misunderstood me, and it just didn't work. So don't feel like you have to don't feel like it's everybody you have to be friends with everybody, because that's not how social groups work. But if you are you and you are like a too few, even if you have one friend, I've been in college for like 4 years and I only can say I have one friend. And if you have that one friend that you like, just sticks with it. It helps, and you don't need a lot of friends. Like it's not worth it. And um you can definitely be in high school and still be true to yourself. And if you're not easily given into peer pressure, and you know that you have a faith and you are strong in every those faith, you won't be led down the wrong path. And you can still be you and even be friends with an atheist or people from different religious background. You can still have that within your circle. It's just that if it becomes a thing where it's going to cause conflict, you know that there have to be something that is, you have to let go on something.
Alika, how do you manage stress? I know you're having trouble with your camera, but I wanted to. You reminded me. I'd love to hear from you. Don't sweat the camera. Tristan, maybe you'd want to reflect on how you've sort of dealt with stress, and you're cruising now. You're a senior, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You've learned all the tricks?
Uh, kind of, yeah, but one thing that I did, when we were in school, I would kind of always stay in like my counselor's room, like all the time. Like when something was going on with me, or I just needed like some type of motivation, I would be in my counselor's room. She just like this the conversations. That's why, it's kind of adding to your point, like being friends with like older people. Make that friend with a teacher, and you're honestly need it later, definitely if you want to write, if you need a recommendation letter, make that friend with that teacher and just go in there once you're feeling down. If you just need like a talk, or if you just want to hang out, like make that friend with that teacher. That's how I really handle my stress. I just sat down, we had a conversation. She gave me some candy, and we were just in there just talking, and that's how I just like handle my stress, honestly.
I mean, I'm not so far removed from high school, although, yeah, I am. I don't like to admit it. But I still remember vividly my freshman year. I mean, the reality is we just found those spaces where we felt really comfortable. And that's okay. High school's a big place. You know, there's what, 2,000 people in East Hartford High School? I mean, you're gonna find a little enclave that makes sense for you. And I mean, Chris Rock, the comedian, had said this now decades ago. There's something about, just it's okay if you have a couple, one or two core friends like that. You don't have to have a big group. Some people do. Some people, have a whole crew. Some people don't, and that's okay. It's always, it's always about the energy you're getting from the number of people that you need. So
How do you stay out of like drama as a high schooler? Because I'm
it's
like
impossible.
I I know because like in middle school I used to like be in a lot of drama, and like this year I've really like evaluated myself to actually pull myself from those people which has brought drama to me. So it's like I don't want to move to high school with those type of people that come back. And so how do you like stay away from that?
All right. So this kind of goes with your last question in a way. One thing I'm gonna just say is peer pressure does exist. You the vibe I'm getting from you, and this is just over a laptop. I don't even know really anything personal about you. I've never met you in person, but you seem like a really strong-headed girl, and you seem very, very intelligent. You have good judgment, it seems, as you has self accountability to at least admit that you were in middle school and you got in this and you got in that. But when it comes to high school, there's one main focus, and that one main focus is learning, networking, and gaining what you need to take the next step after high school. So, drama, yeah, it might happen and stuff, but don't get too invested in it and don't pay no mind. It's really up to you to engage in that. You can simply just keep walking down the hallway, or when somebody tries to approach you, or just don't, chill with the messy crowd. You can spot those individuals out like this, especially as you who knows who you are, who are like you, or people who have the same similar qualities. Be compatible, you know what I mean? Like, just get to know other people, and if you feel like that person isn't for you and you notice they chill around somebody else who is in this and that, simply just keep it to a minimum with that person. You're in totally control of the dialogue you have with individuals in high school, and I would definitely say, as everybody's telling you, find that teacher that you could become friends with. Teachers are pretty cool. They're good resources. They've been through high school themselves, so it's nothing that they don't know, you know what I mean, or haven't already experienced or can give you tips on.
I will say this, and this is I'm going to try and offer it as a question too. You don't be afraid to change. I mean, the reality is, as you get older, you're going to change, and you're going to wake up one day and feel just different. And it's okay to lean into that. you know, Tristan, Regina, I'm sure you're just very different people than you were in ninth grade. You know, and Myra and y- you're just different people. Jalen, you're just Janelle, excuse me. You're just different people than you were just a couple of years ago, and that means your friends change. That means your interests change. That just means a lot of different things, and it's just all part of it.
If you couldn't go back to like high school, what would you do differently? Because I know that a lot of adults is like, I would have like, done this and that, but I really want to know. So like when I go to high school, I could really take those advice and I could like strive to what I want to accomplish in life and in school in general.
I could speak. I one of the things I would do. So I was in when I left Jamaica. High school started at grade 7, and it was much more challenging than when I came here for high school. So when I got here, I would say I have like a drastic brain drain, because when I got here, the work was less. It was not as difficult as it was back home. So I took that advantage. I took that to my advantage, which now became a disadvantage. It was where I wasn't doing anything. I thought I was too smart, that I just didn't. I would just go home, not study, not do anything. Watch. I catched up on so many series. I used to go to sleep at like 6 in the morning to wake up at 7 and still be able to function within school, because of like I thought I've been through it already. So I was like, okay, I got this. And now it's kind of where it's affecting me, because now I have to relearn, unlearn unlearn my 4 years of high school and start to like develop study skills. I have to start developing time management, all these other things that if I had it during high school, I'd have been better off right now. So I think if you feel like you're not challenged, don't just settle for less. Go for it, like do more. If you feel like, okay, I know like a few of my friends, they were taking classes at like college camp, not college, they were taking like at a community college. They were taking classes at a community college that those credits transfer within high school. They were doing different stuff in there and in the within the community that would be beneficial to them. Now they were developing new skills. They were trying to do more, while I was just like laid back, sit back, and still be able to like go through still be able to like pass through high school with A's. So I think you are if you're doing your class and you're like, okay, this is not, I'm already able to grasp the material. I think going beyond that is definitely something that will be helpful. Like if you're in a math class and you feel like, okay, I'm getting this material, you could probably go to the teacher and ask her for like something much more than what is that, or you could try and search up on the internet ways to be ahead of your class or be ahead of yourself, so that you are able to just so that you are developing or just becoming more knowledgeable about things. Having like definitely challenging yourself, I feel like would be helpful.
What I've been impressed by is how, you know, we're talking about the transition to high school and trying to sort of have that foundation and I mean, there's an academic piece that's so important, and you hit the nail on the head, and we're able to sort of tease some of that out. But I just wanted to point out how, because I think this is a sort of entirely on brand, that how much we've talked about non-academic things, you know, whether it's relationships, whether it's overcoming adversity, whether it's trying to sort of deal with that peer pressure, deal with the drama. I mean, there's so much of it that isn't academic, and even an extent to which, you know, being organized, you know, sort of thinking about thinking. They're called metacognitive skills, but they're really just having a plan, having a process, sort of thinking about how you learn so that you can play to your strengths. All of these things, there's so much of it that's actually just not academic with regard to sort of that foundation you need, the things you think about, the things in your life that go to and contribute to your success. We only have a couple more minutes. I wanted to, before I'd forgotten that point, I wanted to sort of emphasize that because I think we've definitely had an awesome opportunity to talk about so many different experiences in high school and how to sort of manage all of that. So I wanted to frame that because I think it's really important. Tristan, what's next? You're a senior. What are your plans?
Did we answer Evan's question? I don't mean to be rude.
Oh, please, thank you.
Yeah, there's a question in the comments. He said, oh, Janelle just replied back too, which is a really good reply back. He asked, what would you recommend I do in high school if I were to go to CCSU?
Yeah, break it down.
Along with just Janelle said, having a good GPA and strong college application, which is something that you should worry about a lot towards your junior and senior year. Don't worry yourself as a freshman. What you can do as a freshman is figure out your hobbies, figure out things that you're strong in, figure out things that you like so that you can get into that groove and learn how to balance high school and personal life. And, just figuring out that balance will help you gradually go into college. You know what I mean? You got to worry about high school first. I would recommend taking AP if that's a challenge that you're ready for later on in high school, or honors if your school offers it now. CCSU just, in any college, it doesn't have to be CCSU. It could be University of New Haven. It could be University of Hartford. It could be some out-of-state university. In general, when it comes to college, they just want to see the type of person you are. Academics are very important as well, but they want to see what you can bring to their campus. What creativity can you bring to campus? And I do want to say this to you, Priscilla. You mentioned religious beliefs and how you're very strong in that, and how you were concerned about finding communities to belong to. Create your own community. If your school has like after school programs after school, or advisory, and they give you the opportunity to create something, where create a group chat and advertise it around the school, a Christian Bible study / school study, something, just be creative. That's what schools want to see from students, period. What you could bring to the table, and that gives you good practice in life. And when you have a career, what can you bring to a company, or what company can you bring to us?
And just to add to that, you just don't want to get into the school. You want the school to give you some money. Like, you want some merit scholarships or something like that. So stand out. So like, it's easy. It's okay. Hold on. It's not easy to get in college, but it's like, that's the first step. But then after that, you want to see how much money they're giving you, because college is expensive, and it's really expensive. So even a little bit of money, like it all adds up at the end of the day. Like right now, I'm looking at my financial aid for different schools, and like, there's some schools that really want me, so they're going to give me more money. You always want to be like wanted when you go to college. So make sure you stand out a little bit more so you can get money from them, merit scholarships and all that stuff.
A shameless plug for the Gear Up program too. I mean, one of the the primary focuses, and schools increasingly do a solid job of this, but it helps to be in their ear. But there are a lot of resources, financial and otherwise, that are out there, and scholarships a key one. But making sure you get all the financial aid that you would otherwise qualify for, and using all the tools that are there is a great way to make it happen. Yeah, on the because it's a pertinent question. Reflecting on all the things that all the admissions counselors say. I used to go out on the road, and I still work for MCC, and we'd be on a panel with University of Hartford and UConn and CCSU, and they all talk about. And this really ties in nicely with talking about just sort of getting settled in your first year, in your freshman year, and sort of finding the things that you're passionate about. They want to see, kind of progression. So the first year isn't as important as your sophomore year, and then your junior year especially, and then your senior year. So, I wouldn't sweat if the adjustment is a little complicated, because you're going to build from that. And if you can sort of focus on building one piece at a time, changing one thing, or dedicating yourself to one thing, it just has a cumulative effect. And to work on it sort of intentionally in your freshman year, all of a sudden you're there in your sophomore year and you're ready to go, because that's clicked for you. You have that platform. Regina, where are you off to next year?
I'm planning on going to University of Hartford as a BSN student. but I'm not sure yet because I'm still waiting on my financial aid package. Then I'll make a decision.
Mhm.
But I also think I'll go there because I got the Hartford Promise Scholarship. And then if I go there, I'll have a free housing and free meal. So I think it's getting like it's a little cheaper for me, or it's a little easier for me because I don't really have money to pay for college. So I'll just go there since I have a lot of scholarship from them. And
It's about piecing it together too. It's not that I, I hesitate to say this, but you know, as folks on the call who are, you know, just beginning or thinking about going to high school in 4 years, another 2, 4, 6, 8 years. I mean, it doesn't stop, and it actually can be really fun and enjoyable if you're really engaged in it. So clarifying your interests and sort of leaning into that is, I think, the way that you get the most value out of it and stay engaged with it. Folks, it's a little after 4. Does anyone sort of want to offer last thoughts? I don't want to keep you too long, and I know that some folks will have, you know, places to go, people to see. I thought we've had a fantastic conversation today, teasing out a lot of really important pieces of this. Last thoughts?
I would just throw in a last thought. You guys for attending this. I really do like admire all of you guys as freshmen thinking and having this type of mindset, asking the right questions, because if you build your foundation strong for freshman year, it will become, you know, second nature throughout high school, and you won't have any problems in college, trade school, wherever, you know, academic steps that you take after high school. And another thing I want to say is look into different institutions now. There's a variety of different institutions that will help you and educate you in whatever that you want to be educated in. Or and another thing that I would like to say is look into HBCUs. They're amazing institutions that provide scholarships. They work with you. They care about you and your interests in your future. Look into colleges that speak to you. Travel, take advantage of those college tours. I cannot say that enough. If there is a college tour field trip, go on it. Even as a freshman, you will never forget that campus. You can never forget how that campus spoke to you, or whoever gave you the tour guide, how they made you feel and how well they explained things on campus. That is one thing that I can say definitely helped me a lot when it came to picking out colleges. I thought about all the field trips and all the college tours and campuses that I've touched and how they made me feel and how I felt at the time, and take advantage of virtual college tours and campuses. So yeah, and then somebody definitely said community service. That's another thing that is really big that I say get into as a freshman, and that's what you can do to build to your future. Look in your community, get invested, get engaged, figure out something that you don't like and do something about it.
Anyone want to add to that? That was fantastic. You know, Priscilla, this to speak to your point. I mean, the HBCUs, they're schools that are their whole curriculum is sort of structured around faith, and you know, there's a lot of schools that do a really good job of ultimately, um, uh, uh, you know, at the college level, after you sort of built this foundation in high school, you're going to discover that there are opportunities to really deepen your experience as you're becoming, you know, as you're stepping more fully into adulthood. And you know, the best colleges provide that environment. The HBCUs absolutely provide a fantastic environment for that. And then other colleges do really well in structuring their entire experience around certain themes or you know, core pieces of your identity, or lots of different things, and even small programs, sort of schools within schools. You know, whether it's University of Hartford or whether it's Capital Community College, some will have, you know, core groups that can really speak to you, that are really energizing and really, you know, at the end of the day, it'll change your life. So I want to say thank you to everyone. I'm so grateful for all your time, to the panelists, to the Hartford Yard Goats Foundation. This we'll do more of this, and in a couple weeks, you know, I sort of want to, you know, plug the opportunity that we'll continue this conversation. Some of the ambassadors here, want to continue providing mentorship and have an opportunity to connect one-on-one with folks. And so we're going to create space for that too. Starting the week of March 8th, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. I'm hoping to sort of open up, ultimately a virtual space like this so we can sort of, less formally, move in and out and have substantive conversations and be there for each other as we, kind of get through the rest of the pandemic and transition into to our bright futures. So to be there for each other. So thank you all. Congratulations on all the success y'all have had. Just really impressive people, and I've learned a lot today, and I know everyone here has. So I bid you all adieu. I say thank you, and I'm so grateful for all your time and for all of this.
Thank you, guys. And good luck next year.
And we're here as mentors and just as guidance. If you guys need it, don't be afraid to reach out. And if you're interested in doing the mentoring program, you can contact Mr. Benjamin and he'll definitely help you guys out. Have a safe one.
Bye, guys.
Have a nice day.
Bye.